Hi, back again. So, it has been a week. It's only Thursday. Well, no, thank goodness it's Thursday. I am very sorry that I missed the video upload on Tuesday. It was my kid's birthday, and I had a meeting on Tuesday. Ugh, it's been a week. So, I don't know if I've announced this on here or not, but I'm going to be a co-host on another podcast. It'll be premiering on November 12th, I think. Yep, November 12th. It's called the Ghost Writers Podcast, and I'll be doing it with Mary San Giovanni, Dave Thomas, and Matt Wilderson. And we're going to be, we'll talk about sort of fun news in the horror community, and then we'll give a little bit of advice for new writers and getting published and stuff. And then I really anticipate most of it's just going to be us talking about fun horror stuff. So I'm really looking forward to it. We keep having meetings about it, trying to work out the kinks, trying to get straight exactly what we're trying to do. But I'm really looking forward to it. I wanted to tell you, I got the Tamara Siler Jones books in, and I've already started on Ghosts in the Snow. I looked up the author because it was like, it's really weird. I don't know this author. It's really weird. So I was looking her up online, and it turns out I do know her. We're not friends or anything, but we run in similar circles in the horror community. We're actually both members of a Facebook writers group. She goes by Tambo Jones online, and I honestly thought that was her name because I'm not sure. I should have looked this up. I have notes. I stopped and took some notes here, but I stopped and was looking to see if I knew her, and I found Tambo Jones, and I was like, oh, I know Tambo Jones. I think we both had the same publisher for a while. So that's really exciting. But I just started today, Ghost in the Snow, because I just got these in yesterday. Thank you, Thrift Books. And I mean, so far I'm hooked. I like fantasy books. And I will say I am very thankful. The thing about fantasy sometimes is the writers will occasionally get a little carried away with names of places and names of characters where it's like, how the fuck do you pronounce that? Where it's just a string of consonants, not a vowel to be found, or it's nothing but vowels, and it's just like, I hate that. I hate that. I hate that. I get, you gotta be out there, but oh, these are nice and, they're different, but I can pronounce it. Maybe it is me. So I'll try to get through this. Maybe not next week. It's just kind of a thick book, but definitely the week after. All right. So bonus episodes of the podcast, they are coming. I promise. There will be one before Monday. I'm so sorry. I've been busy, but I have not forgotten about you, and I'm so sorry. Because, I haven't been doing that. You get those sneak peeks that I put in the bonus episodes to let you know. I wanted to tell you what next week's episode of the main show will be, because I'm really excited. Mark Maron, this past week, put up his interview with Patti Smith, and it got me thinking, and I was like, I should do Howl by Allen Ginsberg. So that's what I'm going to talk about next week is, talk about the work, but I also want to talk about the beatniks. And I keep saying I'm not a poetry person. I read it every now and then, but I'm not obsessed with poetry. I don't think I could write poetry. What I can write are limericks, but I can't really write poetry. But I am a fan of Howl. I read it for the first time in college. I've read it 5 or 6 times since. It is a great piece of work. I'm really, really excited to get into that. So, to the meat of the video. Why am I doing this with this pen? Today is the 22nd. We are coming up on Halloween. I know a lot of places have kind of canceled it. My area has not canceled trick-or-treating. we have a very empathetic mayor. Our mayor is a good guy, but I do not think this was a good call. But since they're having it, I'm going to do the thing where I fill up baggies of candy and then put them outside so nobody has to interact with each other and they still get candy, because where I live, not to say that I live on Wisteria Lane or anything, but it's a very, middle class, I guess, kind of suburb, but we're a bubble surrounded by a lot of poverty. And some of my neighbors are kind of dicks about the trick-or-treaters. When we first moved here, we were literally the only house that handed out candy our first Halloween here. And we got completely mobbed because word got around, hey, this house over here is giving out candy. And, I make bags every year. I'll put little toys in, for the kids who can't have the candy. I did lots of candy. I don't fuck around with Halloween. You come here, you're getting a treat. And we got completely mobbed, and we actually took a few years off. But the more I kept thinking about it, I didn't want to be like my neighbors. I didn't want to be like that, because the people who come here to do trick-or-treating, they don't live here. They live across the bridge. And, I don't care. I won't give candy to adults. We do get those sometimes, people who don't understand because they're not from this country. They don't understand that it's for kids. But I'll give candy to teenagers. I might mess with them a little bit and, give them crap for not being dressed up. But if you come here, you get candy unless you're close to my age. And then it's going to be like, this, go away. But it's the season. And I've been trying to indulge it. I'm all dressed up for it. And, this is my season. As a horror writer, this is my time. So I've been trying to enjoy it, doing my best. I think I told you this before, we've been binging the X-Files, and I have stopped enjoying it. The writing took a massive nosedive in season 6. We're in season 7 now. David Duchovny has pretty much left. He's still there in like little snippets in the spaceship, but it's mostly Robert Patrick and Gillian Anderson right now. And so tonight, I'm going to have my kids and my husband, we're all going to sit downstairs and have family movie night, and we're going to watch Tim Burton's Sleepy Hollow, which, I say it all the time in the show. I don't know if I've said it here, but one of the biggest facts about me is that I am a nut for the gothic aesthetic. When I was a teenager in the 1990s, mid to late 90s. It was a thing, there were goth girls and goth boys everywhere. It was a little before the scene girl thing started. It was still pretty much goth. The Craft, that movie, was my life. I couldn't be a goth girl because my mom would have had a kitten and it wasn't worth it putting up with her temper tantrum to do it, but I always wanted to. But that's goth. I'm talking gothic. And I think Sleepy Hollow, that is early American Gothic beauty. The whole atmosphere of that film makes me nuts. I love it. I love that the blood looks so fake. It looks like melted wax. I love the blue filter, so everything is gray and cold looking. I really, really like that movie. I grew up watching the animated Disney version of Sleepy Hollow, where Ichabod Crane is kind of this scaredy cat. He's kind of a weenie, and I grew up watching that, and I loved it. So when Tim Burton made a movie, I was very excited, and I love it. I watch it every year with my kids. My kids love it. They're not the biggest horror fans, but they do like that movie, so it's fun to watch it with them. And I'm behind because I've been binging the X-Files. I am missing out. There are certain movies that I try to watch every year for Halloween because they kind of do it for me, like certain monster movies. I'm a big fan of the monster. Like werewolves. Werewolves are my favorite monster full stop. Very close second is vampires, but werewolves are my favorite. And we don't have a whole lot of really great werewolf movies. Like I watched Silver Bullet, I watched The Howling, I watched Dog Soldiers. Not the biggest fan of the Underworld movies because that's just soap opera with monsters, you know, and all an excuse to see Kate Beckinsale in a skin tight thing, which, okay, not my thing. I don't think the movies are that great, even though they kind of do that late 90s gothic thing that I was crazy about. I just never was crazy about those movies. What other werewolf movies do I watch? I need to actually get my husband to sit him down and make him watch all the Howling movies. I've gotten him to watch the first and second one. After the second one, he didn't want to watch anymore. Which I can't blame him. That movie sucks. But, I mean, he hasn't seen the one with the marsupials. He hasn't seen the one where the werewolf is part of the freak show at the circus. He hasn't seen the one that's actually based off the book. Read those books. The first one was good. I didn't like the second and third. It's a trilogy. Gary something. I'm so sorry. I don't remember his name. It's Gary something. It's the Howling trilogy. Google it. But I always watch those werewolf movies. And I always watch Fright Night, my favorite vampire movie of all time. We usually watch Sleepy Hollow. We try to watch the two Addams Family movies. I love those movies. My favorite is Addams Family Values because Joan Cusack is perfection in that role. We usually watch Poltergeist, which, I mean, considering that it's, you know, I know Tobe Hooper directed it, but come on, that's a Spielberg movie. You know it. You know it. Watch it. That's a Spielberg movie. My kids like it. Every so often, every few years, I'll sit and watch the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The second one, I know it has a big cult following, and I like it. I don't hate it, but it's not one that I'm super eager to watch either, you know? But, what the hell else do I watch? Cabin in the Woods has become a favorite just because I usually don't like the whole meta thing, but it works in that movie for some reason. I really like that movie. And it's got a werewolf. It's got a great werewolf. It's not in there for very long, but it's a good looking werewolf. What else do we usually watch? Let me think. I'm going to have dead space here. Sometimes we'll watch The Craft. Really like that movie. I have to tell you something though. Again, maybe we should get together and discuss ages because I was too old to watch this movie and enjoy it when it came out. And it's a movie everybody talks about now, and I hate it. Is Hocus Pocus. I fucking hate that movie. I watched it once with my kid because he wanted to watch it, and it was like, God, this movie sucks. No. I like the Guillermo del Toro Hellboy movies. The first one is good. I think the second one is better. I love those movies. Speaking of, that's not Guillermo del Toro, that's Peter Jackson. Peter Jackson makes great lighthearted horror movies. Now, what's the one? Is it 13 Ghosts? No. It's The Frighteners. The Frighteners. That's a Peter Jackson movie. I love that movie. That's a great movie. And aside from one scene, there's one naughty scene in there that I think my kids could handle now because it's naughty, but it's more implied than you might think. I love that movie. But also Dead Alive. Holy shit. That's a movie I have to watch every year. That is a movie that is quoted in this house. I'm not a zombie fan. I have never really been into zombies, which, you know, I think you'd be surprised how many of us lifelong horror fans feel that way, where it's just kind of like, meh. Zombies keep having big moments, you know, and they don't go away for too long. And I think that has happened with zombies going out thanks to The Walking Dead, I think. But I think having said that, zombies are a monster that work really well in horror comedy. Um, Dead Alive, great horror comedy. Shaun of the Dead, fantastic. I haven't seen Warm Bodies, but I know I probably should. Have you seen it? Do you recommend it? But what other monsters are there? Critters, love Critters. The Reanimator, watch it. I watch both versions of the Wolfman. I watched the one with Lon Chaney Jr. and I watched the one with Benicio del Toro. I liked the new one with Benicio del Toro. I know a lot of people got just furious about it, but I thought it was good. It was a fun werewolf movie. Lots of gore, lots of death. What do you want? Let me see. House, the one with William Katz. Love that movie. That's one I've seen 1,000 times. I can quote it. So what do I said? They Live. We'll watch that one every couple years. I love that movie. I really do. But it can be a little much for me, I guess. The Thing every year, absolutely. Fright Night, Friday the 13th. Now, Friday the 13th, of all the slasher series, Friday the 13th is my favorite. Just kind of because I like the masked slashers that don't talk. I think Freddy Krueger gets annoying because he talks. The first Nightmare on Elm Street is so good. It's a damn near perfect film, but all of the sequels just don't do it for me. When he starts calling the girls bitch, no. And my friend Wes Southard, he worships Nightmare on Elm Street, and we cannot agree on this. He hates Friday the 13th, but Friday the 13th is my favorite slasher franchise. And I know it's bad. I know some of those sequels are god awful, but I also think they're aware of the fact that they're god awful. and I don't know. They're fun. What else? Frankenstein. I'll watch a lot of the older ones. Like the first Frankenstein is really good. The first Dracula is really good. I do sometimes sit and watch the Francis Ford Coppola Dracula, but not around Halloween, just because I'm sorry, I've said this before, but that movie has value only as a comedy. The acting, and that's weird because I love Keanu Reeves. I love Winona Ryder, and they are terrible in that movie. They are so bad in that movie that it's funny. What's that podcast that Kevin Smith does? The Hollywood Babylon podcast. They do live shows, so you have to kind of get through that. I don't usually like listening to live recordings of podcasts, but the Hollywood Babylon podcast, they have a segment called oh shit, it's I can't remember. It's like sublime acting or exquisite acting, where it's so bad that it circles back around to being exquisite. That's what that is. Their acting is so terrible that it actually becomes comedy gold. Come on. You have to admit, that movie is ridiculous. It tried too hard. No. So, Pumpkinhead. So I'm looking around my writing room at all the posters and drawings that I have. Pumpkinhead's a great movie. As a hillbilly, I kind of look, what is it you want, Ed Harley? I love it. Come on, it's great. And this is my time. I love it. There are some movies that it's weird where we've got the movies that, is it a Halloween movie or is it a Christmas movie? My husband keeps trying to add Gremlins to the Halloween list, and it's like, no, that's a Christmas movie. He keeps trying to add Nightmare Before Christmas to the Halloween list. No, that's a Christmas movie. I don't mind having the crossover, but I mean, if they take place at Christmas, it's a Christmas movie. I don't need every scary movie to take place at Halloween. Ooh, Trick or Treat. That's a great one too. Love that movie. But I don't want to watch a Halloween movie that takes place at Christmas. That's because, and I have to admit this, I am a crazy lady when it comes to making my home festive for the holidays. There's Halloween shit all over the place. I mean, you can see, I think Hagatha's gonna stay. I like having her there, and you can't see the bubble lights above, but you can see the spider web scarf that I have on the mantle there. But there's Halloween shit everywhere, outside, inside. There are Halloween themed towels in the bathrooms. So yeah, well, and I do kind of like fall crap for Thanksgiving, but for Christmas this place goes nuts, and I'm very, very susceptible to falling prey to premature Christmas enthusiasm. So we need to compartmentalize a little bit, or else I lose my way. So I need to be able to focus on just Halloween for right now. Maybe, the second week of November, I can start, do I need more ornaments? Do I need more decorations? Do I need more lights? I'll start thinking about it then. But as of right now, pre-Halloween, it can't happen. We can't talk about it. No Halloween movies that feature Christmas, because it will go wrong on me. So talk to me. What do you celebrate Halloween? Do you celebrate the spooky season? Do you have any movies that you love to watch every year? I'm big on that. I think because of my anxiety, I like to watch and rewatch things, because it helps to have that predictability. So I have TV shows that I have the entire series on DVD, and I'll rewatch it every year, just because I can chill out a little bit. And I do that with movies too. Do you do that? Do you, watch movies every year? What's your favorite monster? Do you have a favorite monster? Yeah. Yeah. So that'll do for today. Sorry to rush off, but I have to go start making dinner. We are having meatloaf. Yes, we are having meatloaf. I am that mom that makes casseroles and meatloafs and then forces my family to eat leftovers, because you know what? That's a day I don't have to make dinner and I can spend more time writing. Great. So, yes, a bonus episode is coming. I am reading Ghosts in the Snow. We'll be able to talk about that. And thank you so much for hanging with me, for being patient. I appreciate that too. And I have no plans on this coming Tuesday, so I should be able to upload a new video then. Thank you very much, and bye-bye. Let's see if the remote goes off. Didn't work. Still didn't work.